Barely 2.5 years ago, I was working 2 part-time jobs just to help my mom pay some bills. I was broke, depressed, and I had no idea what I was gonna do with my life. Fast forward to today, I live in a cool apartment in Miami. I drive my dream car, and I make anywhere from $50,000 to over $100,000 a month with dropshipping and my other businesses. In this video, I'm gonna break down my entire story and how I got to the exact point I'm at today, and how you watching this video can copy the same exact steps, even if you're a beginner starting from complete zero. So to understand my entire story, we got to take it all the way back. I was born in the Bay Area, California, but I grew up in San Rafael, California. Typical Latino household, raised by a single mother. I'm the youngest of 4, and I had a pretty good childhood. I lived in a nice neighborhood, chill home, and I'm not gonna say I grew up dead poor in the trenches or anything, but the way I like to put it is I had everything I needed, but I never got stuff that I wanted, if that makes sense. My entire life, I was wearing hand-me-downs. The sweatpants I'm wearing right now are literally hand-me-downs. Like, I've never gotten like the new pair of shoes, but my entire life, I was raised with a scarcity mindset, especially coming from a Latino household. All I was taught growing up was like, get good grades, go to college, get a job, save your money, and raise a family. I always knew like there has to be more to life than this, but I just didn't know what it was. And because I had that mindset, like you already know, I was that kid in middle school, like 6th grade, selling candy out of my backpack, bro. I would like go to Safeway, buy Swedish Fish, buy a bunch of Skittles, and like separate them into Ziploc bags and then go sell them in middle school. And that's how I started making like my first money ever in my life. I was probably making like $100 a week from that side hustle until someone snitched on me and the principal caught me. But hey, that was how I made like my first $400 profit. Like, that was pretty good money for a 6th grader. Then after that first little side hustle kind of ended, I just kept living a regular life, hanging out with my friends, playing sports, stuff like that. So my entire life, I went to public school. All my friends went to public school. But then when I got to high school, everything changed as soon as I got into high school. I actually got accepted into a very good private high school. The tuition for that high school was around $48,000 a year. Because I was low income and because I'm brown, they probably needed some people of color in their school. I went to school for free. And that's when my entire paradigm and way of thinking shifted, because I was coming from a broke household. I go to this private high school where all these kids are rich as fuck. I'm pretty sure I went to high school with like the CEO of Twitter's son. And the reason like my entire way of thinking shifted is because I would be taking the bus to school. It takes me an hour just to get to school on the bus. And these kids get to drive from their mansions to their private high school in a brand new Range Rover. It's like, what the fuck am I missing? So I look at these kids in my high school and how much money they have. And then I look at my mom and my older siblings and I'm like, damn, so my mom has to work like 10 hours a day. She leaves early in the morning, comes home late just to barely be able to support her 4 children. I was like, what am I missing? What's the difference here? And this is where my fascination for making money started. Like, I just had the urge that I had to make my own money. I applied to get a job at Chipotle so I could start making money. And I actually really liked it. I was like serving up bowls. I was folding burritos. I was looking having fun. And this is when I got my first taste of real money. Every single month, I would get a check for like $2,000. I was like, shit, I'm lit. And I just realized like this money isn't enough. I need more money. What do? Let me get another job. So the outside of the mall was Chipotle where I was working at. Then on the weekends, I would work inside the mall at like a soccer retail store. So basically my routine every day was wake up early. My mom would drive me to school, sit in high school for 8 hours a day. Then as soon as school ended, I would take the bus to work at Chipotle. And then on the weekends, I was working at that soccer store. And that was my routine for a long time. And it's not like I was trying to get rich or anything. I was able to provide for myself and take that stress away from my mom, which is all I wanted at the time. One thing that working jobs really taught me though, it opened my eyes. All my coworkers were like 40 years old with children. They had a family to support and their full-time job was working at Chipotle. Like, this is how they make a living. I do not want to do this for the rest of my life. Like, what do I do? So this is around senior year of high school now. So around the time everyone's applying to colleges, I'm like, bro, I fucking hate school. There's no way I'm about to apply to college and go to school for 4 more years just to end up working a job like this that I'm miserable at for $3,000 a month. There is no way. So at this time, I still didn't know online money was a thing. I didn't know you could make money outside of a job. So I was like, fuck it, bro. I'm not gonna go to college. I'm gonna just go to apply and get a job at In-N-Out. So my logic here was, damn, Chipotle's only paying me $16 an hour. This soccer store is only paying me $12 an hour. If I don't go to college, I'm gonna get a job at In-N-Out where they pay me $20 an hour. That was literally my logic. I'm gonna get paid more per hour, so let me go work at this job. I'm telling you guys, I was just a normal ass kid trying to get some money. So all my friends are applying to colleges, they're getting accepted. They're packing their bags, ready to go to college. And I'm over here. I didn't apply to any colleges, bro. Maybe I applied to one. So this is the part of the story where a lot of you guys know me, is when I was back working at In-N-Out. So this is kind of where my business journey begins. So we graduate high school, senior year. All my friends start going off to college, and I'm still in my hometown flipping patties at In-N-Out. And I was like, damn. So all my friends are at college. I really cannot get stuck working at In-N-Out. What can I do now? I was making decent money at In-N-Out, probably like $20 an hour, pretty good. My paychecks started hitting like $3,000-$4,000 a month because I was working full-time 9 to 5 at In-N-Out every single day of the week. And this is around the time where every single day I was on YouTube. How do I make money online? How do I start a business? What can I do to make money? Studying every single night on YouTube, and I see everything on there. And I tried all of it, bro. I tried day trading. I was reselling shoes and iPhones on eBay. I tried crypto meme trading, and I made like a couple $100s from crypto and a couple $100s from stocks. None of these business models worked because I wasn't building any real skills. Anyone can go buy an iPhone for $700 and resell it for $1,000 on eBay. It's not a real skill and it's not a real business. It wasn't until I found organic dropshipping where everything changed. This seems like the perfect fit for me. All I'm doing is finding products, making viral TikTok videos, and printing money out of thin air. That seems like a real skill. I went all in, and my entire routine every single day was wake up at 8 a.m., go to In-N-Out, clock out at 4 p.m., go home and grind dropshipping until like 3 in the morning and repeat that cycle every single day. I had so much belief in myself that I was going to be successful with dropshipping. So that's around the time when I started posting on TikTok and started vlogging on YouTube, just trying to document my journey to inspire other people to follow along my journey. So if you go back to my first ever YouTube video, you'll see me working at In-N-Out and talking about how I want to be successful at dropshipping. This is before I got like my first ever sale, my first ever 1K day, but I started documenting my journey because I knew I was going to make it happen. That was my routine. For 4 months, I was grinding, getting 0 results, barely going viral, haven't got a single sale, but I never gave up. I got that first ever sale. I heard that ka-ching, and my entire life changed right there. And that's when I realized, bro, this shit is real. This is actually possible. I just made $1 online. It was only like $14, but still, like, I almost cried, bro. I was like, holy fuck, this is everything I've been grinding for. So that first sale eventually started turning into more sales until I eventually started hitting $500 a day, $700 a day, $5K a month. And as soon as I started making more money, I realized, damn, this is a real business. This is a real skill. So I started mastering how to find the best products, how to make the most viral videos and actually make them convert, how to build the best websites. Instead of focusing only on the money, I already got the proof of concept that I could make money. Now it's about becoming the best and mastering the skills so I can make money on command. And as soon as I started doing that, my entire life changed and I hit my first ever $10,000 month profit. And I was like, you know what? It's time to go all in. The same day I hit my first ever 10K month, I didn't even put my 2-week notice in for In-N-Out. I just quit my job on the spot. Then the very next month, I made $56,000 in a single month. And the next month, I made $40,000 and $20,000, $30,000 the following months after that. That was my first ever big winning product. It was a water bottle bong. It was the Smoky for all the OG viewers. If you know, you know. That product right there made me over $120,000 in profit in just around 4 or 5 months of running it. But this is where I fell into my first roadblock of my journey. This was my first big chunk of money. I was still 18 years old, about to turn 19 years old, and I was 100% the richest kid in my hometown. So I had over $100,000 sitting in my bank account, and I literally felt like I made it. I felt like this was success. I stopped learning, I stopped working as hard on dropshipping, and I started smoking way more. I stopped hitting the gym, I started gaining a lot of weight, and I got to my fattest point ever, and I just felt awful. I felt depressed, and I felt like I could never come back from this. I also started getting like shiny object syndrome. I was like, oh, bet, I already mastered dropshipping. I'm already the best at dropshipping. I made $100,000. Now let me go do other business models. So I tried building a clothing brand, and I even started making content for other brands. So I took the skills from organic dropshipping and I took it to a different business model, and I made decent money. I was probably making like $10,000 a month consistently for like 5 months, but I just didn't enjoy it whatsoever. And I got to a point in life where I was like, bro, I need to lock back in on dropshipping, and I need to lock back in on my life and become the best version of myself. And I decided to quit all of that. I went ghost on Instagram. I went ghost on TikTok. I went ghost on YouTube. And for the next 6 months, I locked back in on dropshipping and only dropshipping. And my only goal was to become the best organic dropshipper in the game. So I decided to basically rebuild my entire life, and that's exactly what I did. That was my only focus. From late 2023 to early 2024, I fixed my diet. I got back in the gym. I started learning more. I cleaned up my mindset. I built a good routine and good habits. And I basically rebuilt my dropshipping business from scratch. I was building systems for product research, systems for going viral, and to keep my income consistent with dropshipping. Basically picking up where I left off, but coming even stronger. So this was early 2024. I literally decided to move across the country to Arizona with a bunch of homies that I met off TikTok and from Discord, and we moved into a penthouse together, which is also around the time where a lot of you guys might have found me. But that was basically the comeback, bro. I went ghost for 6 months. I locked in on dropshipping. I tried to become the best organic dropshipper, and I did exactly that. I built good systems. I was making consistent money every single month with dropshipping, and I was like, fuck it, bro. I bought a new car. I moved across the country into a penthouse with my homies, and we all started vlogging together. And this was like the comeback era. Like, I had something to prove because I lost myself in the past, and I was like, this cannot happen again. And everything was going good, bro. I lived in a new city. I met a bunch of new friends, and we were living a cool lifestyle, going to nice dinners, exploring the city. And this is when the kind of second roadblock of my journey came around, and it was actually TikTok Shop. Once TikTok Shop got introduced, organic dropshipping almost died. It went very downhill, and they were trying to get dropshippers off of TikTok, basically almost shadow banning them. And my income dropped a lot. I was making anywhere from $0 to $3,000 a month with TikTok organic. And this is around the time where I had a bright idea. Why is nobody using Instagram? I basically found out if you have 50,000 followers on an Instagram account running a product and you're making good money and the product eventually dies, why would you scrap that account when you can just reuse that account, run a new product on it, and pick up right where you left off? That's basically the cheat code I found within Instagram, which started making me insane amounts of money, $20,000, $30,000 months. But it was completely off Instagram. And this is when my entire dropshipping journey changed, because I realized there was an untapped platform that no one else was using or talking about. So with this new Instagram method with dropshipping, I basically found a gap in the organic dropshipping space that I decided to fill. And I was the first person to come on YouTube and start talking about the power of Instagram and why every single dropshipper should be dropshipping on Instagram. And I was getting a shit ton of views on YouTube. And this is around the time when I decided to open up the BSM Inner Circle, which is my one-on-one dropshipping mentorship. So I was making a shit ton of money on Instagram. I was teaching my students, and they were making a shit ton of money on Instagram. And it basically gave me that competitive edge in the organic dropshipping market. I went all in on Instagram organic dropshipping, and I went all in on building the best community possible in organic dropshipping. I managed to make over $300,000 just on one of my Instagram accounts. My students were making money, and I started to live life a little bit. And I basically had everything I wanted. I was making well over $50,000 a month profit. I had my dream car. I lived in a penthouse. I had good friends around me, and I would just live in life, and life started getting better and better. And now fast forward a couple months, all my friends from that Arizona penthouse, we all moved to Miami, Florida, which is where I'm at right now. I'm in a high-rise apartment, 80 floors in the sky. And currently, as you're watching this video, I am entering a new phase of life, kind of getting into a new business venture. And now I'm focusing on building a real e-com brand. But that right there is basically my entire life story. I went from a regular ass kid in a Latino household, working part-time jobs, to making a shit ton of money with dropshipping and kind of pioneering a lot of the dropshipping space, where I was able to build the best community in the organic dropshipping game, where all our students are printing, getting insane results, making $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month. But yeah, guys, that's basically been my entire journey for the past 2.5, almost 3 years. So hopefully you guys gain some motivation or gain some wisdom from this video, and hopefully you guys will follow along for the rest of my journey and what I'm gonna do in the future. But with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to check out all the links in the description, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.